Hey everybody, Ron here. I want to talk about my D&D game today. So today we had an interesting session. It was short. We just basically did a whole bunch of downtime activities, which led to some interesting directions, and wanted to talk about that today. For review, we have three characters because we had three players there today. We have Septimus, and Septimus is our human artificer of House Cannith. We have Marv. Marv is our Warforged Diviner Wizard. And we have Twinga. Twinga, the Barbarian of the Biesk Mountains. And Keth is dead. He was turned to dust by that disintegration by the Beholder in the previous session that I talked about. But Keth's player was not available to make it today. He made a new character, but we are going to talk about that character some other time. So before the session, I texted both Marv's player and Septimus's player to ask them what they would like to accomplish in their 2 months of downtime. And during this downtime, Septimus has 3 goals. It has goals to continue to forge relationships between the different Dragon Mark houses and other allies. He wanted to begin gathering resources to hopefully restart a creation forge. And finally, he wanted to create some constructs. The last thing was stuff that he could just spend time and money on. So, we're going to negotiate some stuff still. And, he showed me his signature homunculus, which I agreed to. But other stuff we're gonna talk about later. And as far as the creation force stuff, well, that was interesting because I had in mind for him to talk to Merrick's to Cannith, and so he did. So Septimus and Merrick's had a conversation. Merrick summoned him, and they had a conversation. Merrick's basically expressed his pleasure with Septimus's success over the campaign, with all the things that he did. Septimus caught him up, including mentioning that Septimus's mother, Alicia de Cannith, was actually going to be cured and coming home soon. And that delighted Merrick, although Merrick didn't want to show it. Septimus could read it. So yeah, that was interesting. But Merrick was primarily interested in handing over the reins of the House Enclave to Septimus. Not officially, because Merrick still was going to be the head officially, but as far as the day-to-day operations, I decided that Merrick was more interested in his own experiments and instead of running day-to-day operations. So he handed it over to Septimus. That made Septimus player and Septimus very happy because that was one of their main goals in the first place. Actually, that was their main goal from the beginning of the campaign. It's just this other stuff that came in during the campaign. Merrick also let him in on the secret that, yes, there is a secret creation forge, but no, that creation forge is not operational. They are making progress, though, and he invited Septimus to help him with that. And, of course, Septimus agreed because he thinks that's cool, and he wants to do that now. So that was the one scene that we played out, and then we switched to Marv and Twinga. Marv gets a note from a little cardinal letting them know that Drade was summoning her. Drade sent a simple message. I know where Paz is. Paz, of course, is Marv's old master, and so Marv is keenly interested. So next thing you know, they went. Marv and Twinga went and met Drade, and Drade told them where. Drade told them where Paz was. Paz was in Red Hammer. Red Hammer is a tavern and smithy down in Lower Sharn near the Cogs. And this was a place where Warforged hang out. They immediately proceeded down there. And they make it to Red Hammer. Red Hammer has all these Warforged. It's ran by this individual named Ash. By the way, I'm totally borrowing this from a Dungeon 115, the murder mystery adventure. I didn't run the adventure, but I was just borrowing the environment and some of the NPCs from that because I thought they were fantastic. And it really gave a great impression of what Warforged cultures were like. There were some that were for the Lord of Blades, and some that were against, and then yes, there's some more that were ambivalent. And Marv picked that up in conversation while they were in there. But Marv was told that Ash would know where Paz was, so Marv went to Ash, and Ash basically didn't really say much. But then Marv heard a voice say, "Hey Ash, I'm gonna take a couple of hours off." Then Marv turned around. When Paz recognized Marv, she froze. And then she immediately ran and gave Marv a great big hug. Of course, Marv doesn't know what's going on. Marv just knows that this person, his name is Paz, and they put a name to the face, and apparently this was Marv's old master, but that's all they knew. So they went to a private room and they caught up. Twinga went with them, by the way. Oh, and by the way, before they went to the room, as they were on their way to go talk in Paz's studio apartment, one of the Warforged, a couple of Warforged was actually watching them, but Marv did notice. Turns out that, like I said, there were some Bladists that were in Red Hammer, and the thing is that Red Hammer is a neutral zone. There's like no fighting. They can argue all they want, but nothing can come to blows. So they were watching, and so Marv noticed that. Of course, nothing could ever come of something like that, right? So they continued talking. So in the back, Marv and Paz talked. It was mostly Paz, catching Marv up on who they were, what they did. And Marv had a bunch of questions, and Paz filled in a bunch of details and let Marv know what the function was, which basically be a secret message encoder. And Marv was paired up with another Warforged that was out of commission, and all that. And Paz also told Marv that she was part of House Cannith, or rather, she used to be. That she's an unmarked, she's an unmarked member of House Cannith, and that while at first she was fully behind House Cannith and her goals, and one day she realized that the purposes were clashed with her own beliefs about Warforged, and many Warforged became her friends. So she kind of left her own accord. At least that's what she says. But she sticks to the Lower Shan and attempts to not catch the eye of House Cannith, because House Cannith, or most, if not all, Dragon Marked houses don't like for members of the house, blooded members of the house, whether they manifest a mark or not, to kind of walk off. So there's that. So the conversation, they had some small talk to finish, to give a hug. And the last thing Paz left Marv with, after asking Marv to come visit sometime, was that to do what Marv can to save Brummel, because Brummel was a part of their squad as well. And if you don't remember, Brummel was the assassin that went after Septimus, the one with the composite arm like the Warforged. As it turns out, Paz believes that Brummel is working out under his own compulsion. Spoiler alert, he is gazed, so that's why. But no one in-game knows that. And Paz said, whatever you can do to redeem Brummel, you must do it. Because I do believe that what he has done is against his character. And we left it at that. And that's where that scene ended. Marv and Twinga went back up. And then we had a big scene with a party that Septimus set up. He invited various Dragon Marked house members and other nobles, including Ilya de Fierlin, but did not invite her betrothed, because, well, the whole love triangle thing, and the fact that her and Ilya's betrothed was a piece of trash anyway. So we played out some role playing with that. I introduced Cecily Torn to Tharashk, someone who is not going to be a part of Septimus's grand conspiracy, but she wants in somehow. So she introduced herself, told Septimus that she was invited through Renus, and so there's that. So Septimus and his conspiracy group met to have the talk. One of the members of the conspiracy, one of the members, potential members of the conspiracy, is of House Denise, and he told Septimus he was impressed that the party killed a beholder and basically dealt with the cult of Sandthrax. But things were more complicated because he discovered that the House Denise enclave there in Sharn has been infiltrated by the Dreaming Dark. That puts him in trouble. And so Septimus decided, okay, we're going to deal with that. And that's pretty much where we ended the session. Now the party's going to go and they're going to deal with some quarry. That'll be interesting. I need to work on that. I didn't necessarily think that when I started the session it was going to go in that direction, but it did, and that's cool. So I can't wait to play next week. We're going to introduce the new character, and we're going to introduce another new character. Twinga's player wants to play something. I think he's going to play a rogue, kobold rogue now. We'll see how that goes. But it was an interesting session. Some dice were rolled, no combat, but the plot was advanced. I set some things up for later in the season, and things are really about to get explosive because I'm ready to throw the gauntlet at the party with the Lord of Blades and his minions. Bromo's coming back soon. Crisscross is coming back. It's going to be great. I'm really excited. There isn't much time left in the campaign, and it's going to be the conclusion is going to be pretty climactic, I hope. But the players have been having a lot of fun, and I've been having a lot of fun too. And I finally get to throw the Lord of Blades at somebody. Oh, that reminds me, the Lord of Blades. So don't tell anybody this, but I got something really cool to show you. Ladies, gentlemen, all party people, introducing the Lord of Blades. Yeah, pretty cool, isn't it? I had somebody commission a kit bashing job for me. I bought a Reaper Minis Iron Golem and had that kit bashed. I'm really pleased with the result. That is larger than the Lord of Blades actually is supposed to be, but that's okay. I thought it would look cool, and I have a story reason. Basically, like Ultron, the Lord of Blades has found a way to transfer his essence to other bodies, but he can only do it himself, and so he gets a little and little more insane as he transfers from body to body. And this is his that's the big one, and that's the one that the players are going to encounter, and that's going to be fun because I really like the look of that. So I'm really excited to use that mini. I told them players, like one of the players is pretty eager. He likes buying minis and painting minis and everything like that, and he's provided some for me. But I told him, listen, I got the Lord of Blades covered. So they don't know what's coming, but I'm excited to show that to them. So that's it. That's a summary of today's session and what's upcoming, and I am excited. So until next time, I will see you later.